Agent Jensen, am I gonna have a problem with you?
No, sir. No reason to assume you would.
I never really considered myself to be a voiceover person for a long, long time. It took actually a lot of convincing to get me to do it. And then I started doing different commercial things, and I got asked to do a video game. And I had no idea what I would have to do. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it because you get to play in the recording booth, and virtually where I do it, they just lock me in the room, give me a bottle of water and half an apple, and they won't let me out till we finish. So it's, you do it, you do 3 versions of everything, and you kind of have to be able to make a character exist that isn't there. You have to get your mind working really hard and decide on exactly how you think the character is, what the character's doing, just by having the director talk to you and tell you what he thinks. I think Jim Miller is he's one of these people that's a stand-up guy. He's kind of a good leader. He's courageous. He doesn't stand fools very well. He hates any kind of a thing that's against another person, whether it's against the orgs or whether it's against a different set of people. He doesn't agree with any of that. And he's kind of caught between the rock and the hard place because he has to do what he's asked to do as a military man. And sometimes he gets orders that he really doesn't want to do. I mean, they go against everything he believes in, but he still has to do it. So he's kind of torn a lot about what he's doing. So I think the character itself makes him a really unique character because he has a lot of sides to him. He's not one-dimensional. He's got all these things going on in his mind. So I like him. I think there's a little bit of suspicion within the relationship simply because Jensen was inserted into his team without him being asked. So he sort of suddenly had an org in his team, which doesn't sit well with him. It's kind of like this something that could actually happen in maybe a not so distant future where we're sort of headed that way with technology anyway, where people get augmentation for limbs that have been taken off or have had to be removed, especially soldiers returning from combat when they've had legs blown off or arms blown off. We see it now where they have these mechanical arms that are attached, which have fingers that move, and they can actually pick up objects with the fingers, and they can hold things, shake hands with you. We're getting into that kind of world. And I think that the biggest thing that we've got to avoid is what happens in this game, is that is when people start to have a prejudice against someone that's different. I was actually involved in a mocap session. Yeah, that's an interesting experience. Let me think. Acting to a little ball or acting to nothing. It's kind of fun. I mean, you really do have to think. It keeps your mind active. I enjoy it because it's a challenge. Just getting all the things you have to do for mocap, and you can't actually be as broad as you would be on the set of a movie. You don't have the luxury of being able to do things big. You're kind of constrained into spaces where you have to work within the framework of what the animation's going to look like when it's finished. So I find that a challenge more than anything for the acting side of who I am. Wearing that black suit that shows everything you really don't want to show is not the most glorious thing to do, and there's always somebody that takes a photograph of it and puts it up on Facebook or somewhere. Nothing is private anymore, but it's fun. I enjoy it.